The monster suddenly gets up and leaves. And then comes back again. And then again a giggle. There you see what looks like a bottle of pills. And there's something written on them.
Can I read it from here?
Pills for the real mother, who, if she was real and wanted me to believe, would open to take them, like she always loved. Again, shaky, barely able to be read handwriting.
Does it look like there's anything attached to these pills?
It seems like it's rigged.
What type of trap are we talking?
It has to do with the same type of ignition within grenades. And if the bottle cap was to be turned, you think there will be a spark, there will be heat created.
Dope. I just found myself a bomb.
I'll just start doing basic first aid with what's there and taking painkillers.
Yeah, I was gonna say, if I'm there yet, I would like to have a very particular type of scanner on that area.
The drugs.
I don't want to look at anything else that I can't swallow, sniff, or smoke.
You notice that there are tanks of this type of substance, that's used in the very particular fridge there, and it could help the food and such last longer. Otherwise, on its own, this could be good for sleeping medication, it could be good for a little bit of chillness, it's a downer, but you think it really would shine if you mixed it with other things.
Is there anything else at all I could look at? Or...
Yep, in the medical station, you could take out lots of painkillers. You could just empty all painkillers that are there.
I'm gonna grab me a bottle of painkillers.
10 full bottles of painkillers.
I'm gonna take 3.
Okay, I was about to say.
And then I'm gonna let everyone know there's some painkillers they could have, if they ask nicely.
The Chico will tell everyone that we are going to soon meet a monster that attacks us from hiding places. And there are some points about Logan mentioned at the end of the text. Just read that paper and be mindful of these hiding places, especially when we go another level up, because
I'm gonna have to rely on you on the hiding spots. I'm not good at seeing this.
also, can I look for things that can be used for dissection?
You could find some scalpels and such, but they're not quite investigation tools, but you can do dissections with them, sure.
So I will pick 4 scalpels.
All right, you do so of different kinds and different shapes. Your health is now stable, but which limb do you value the most?
Dick.
I'll go for my right arm, my dominant hand.
In the medic kit, you find stabilizers of sorts that would actually aid you to start using your arm right away.
Yeah, ideal. And I want to look at the medic station again. What was the full description of the actual medic station?
Inbuilt compact device that could act both as a bed, as a set of delicate arms that would help you with surgeries.
Yeah, I'll fucking get in that while I do shit. Is it manually operated by someone else?
It could be manually operated, but you could try to see if you can have its, auto-evaluation mode.
Yeah.
Artemis, do you want some help?
As much as I hate to admit it, I would really appreciate that, love.
I see you're working on your right arm.
Yeah, this one's very important to me. We've been through everything together, and he's just looking at it.
You use it a lot because you're a wanker.
Right on the ball. Literally.
One of the senders is going to go with Sachiko.
I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere. But
I thought you were going to go with the dissection.
And you're walking away with the mommy bags.
I'm not sure. I think there might be other questions that we might want to ask.
Right, so I want to find any container I can, load up on some of that fluid.
If you were to use some of the food packaging, as if you were packaging food with this substance in it, but just this substance, Then you would have food packages, but just the substance.
Right, yeah, then I'm gonna do that.
This whole tank would be 10 of those. Do you want to make 10 of those?
Yeah,
No, what is that?
this is very useful. For many reasons you will soon learn.
Okay,
I'm just gonna continue making them and smile at the painkillers.
Cinder will help. And then she's going to look at them and say, you know, guys, we haven't eaten for a while.
Also, are you gonna help Artemis with the device?
Yes, there are so many of me and so much to do. Essentially, help secure the legs.
Artemis doesn't get hurt, but you think the delicate fabric-like technological material on the device now gets ruined and the device goes out of control. And now the automatic modules of the device itself can't be used anymore. So no matter what, no one can operate on themselves using the machine anymore. You will always need someone else to help. However, both of your legs are now functional. The health of all of your limbs, even the ones that you have healed, are still pretty low. You're in the danger zone, but you're no longer hurting with the medication. And they should start to improve as time goes by.
The Chico looks daggers at the Cinder who helped Artemis and carrying the mummy bags and the scalpels with her. She goes to the room where the corpses were.
Oh, so room 3.
Yeah, she goes to room 3.
Just a note, as you're going there, you notice the 2 still living vulturous-type glowing beings feeding on any trace of blood or anything around, mostly on the baby's corpse as well. They don't seem to be damaging anything.
Cinder Prime is with you, just so you know.
Did you bring Alice down too? Sachiko asked.
Yes, of course. She's right by me.
There's both the fluffy plant dog and the Alice dog.
Yeah, I would have brought both.
Yes, so how much of the corpses remain for me?
The father's corpse, the sister's corpse, both connected to this device. The mother and the brother, however, are missing, and you think the baby has already been eaten by the baby.
The mother was in the bathtub, as far as I remember.
You do know, yes, these are all from the same time. So father and sister, those are your choices. The baby has been eaten already. Evidence destroyed forever.
I first go to the sister's corpse, and since I have 2 corpses, I won't need to be very cognizant of not wasting my dissection. I will cut it open. Number 1, what killed it? Number 2, when were they killed, and how were they killed?
You find injuries on them that's unrelated to their death. Their death, both of them, seems to have been brought about simply by starvation and then organ failure. You think that they were strapped to this machine. You could guess that it was tweaked in a way that wouldn't at all have the warnings in place that would basically tell them to turn off the machine and go take care of their actual bodies. And they started rotting away while their artificial nervous system was still connected to the machine. And looking like their corpses were peeling off of this green nervous system filament that as clones they have inside them. You see that the little brother's corpse isn't there, but a complete set of the main nervous system is actually there. And from the traces around, you don't think the little brother was eaten by the baby. Somehow that corpse is missing, while completely the filaments that would keep a clone from mutating, the filaments are still there. You understand that the sister was cut on the palm of her hand by what you can make to be a pair of scissors. And you think the father here had very badly damaged knuckles, as if he had been punching something hard. Just around there are bits of evidence that suggest they used some food and luxurious food items. And you think there are traces of calluses that have again shriveled up along with the body that suggest he used something, a heavy tool, for a rather long time. Something that would be held by 2 hands. That's all you can understand. The rest of you, while Sachiko is studying, what do you do?
Could I find clothes in this room at all? And also, while I'm searching for just clothes in general, I want to look through anything so that I can make a little weapon. I want to take if there's any sedatives from the medical boxes.
Yeah, you can take some sedatives as well.
Are they strong sedatives or?
Can be if you take enough of them.
Yeah, I'll take lots of them.
Medical points down to 40. You take sedatives, you find some bits and pieces of what could be clothing stuck in some of the elevator type mechanisms around this storage room.
Mhm.
But otherwise, the only functional bits you find are just basically full costumes and outfits that Cinder still has. But obviously, as Artemis, you do still remember that you can get some from the pods if you go back to them.
I was just about to say that, yeah. I'll finish gathering all the equipment that I want to make a little dart gun to go on my wrist. Just one that's, triggered by specific movements and concealed. I'll just gather them and,
Yeah.
put them somewhere else and then quickly go get clothes.
All right. Any specific type of clothes you want to get? There are.
Very fancy.
All right. You pick the sharpest suit there is.
And an overcoat as well.
Yep. And the machine itself just dresses you up with it right then and there and looking neat as fuck.
Cool. Perfect.
I was just gonna say, one of the Cinders starts making MREs for the group.
And Noel?
I want to start mixing some of the gel into some of the painkillers I have. Yeah, I'm just gonna make one dose. With this new creation, I immediately take it.
Cinder just watches him amused.
Artemis, anything specific you want to do?
Yes, on the right arm, I want to have the sedative, so the non-lethal, just sedatives gun. And then on the left arm, I want to have a single-use lethal gun that's also concealed. So I want to look through to see if there's anything.
Wait, so you want to make a second gun that you want to
Yeah,
make?
just look through all of the equipment, see if I can make a second one.
So here's the thing. You have to bend your elbow just completely, holding it against your shoulder almost for the gun to fire with the little balloon end that you put on it.
Mm-hmm.
And its range is only for about a couple of steps ahead of you.
With the sedative one, that's how I want it to work. But with the lethal one, I want to actually try to find gunpowder and make it just a decent single use.
All right, in that case, you should just tell me which room you want to go to, and
Okay, just keep looking in the storage for anything if there's any weapons in there.
I'll go to Sachiko while you search.
First of all, based on the evidence that the dad was carrying heavy things and such, these clones didn't get born and die here attached to the machine. They had a life. They did things. Also, based on how they died, she doesn't think they were killed by something that wasn't intelligent. So, if these clones were used as experiments, did the original family, father or someone else in the family, create these clones, observe them, and then kill them when he got whatever answer he wanted? And in that case, what answer he wanted? Or like us, did they just pop out of the machines, lived a little bit on their own here, and later were killed by an intelligent thing? So along these 200 years, when exactly they were killed?
The time when they died was long after when you believe that the initial family had started to mutate and had already mutated. So you think if the original family dates back 100, maybe 200 years ago or so, you think that this family that you see here met their end at, you could say, 50 years ago or so. That's it. You don't find any evidence of anyone even specifically surveying them. Let's say you were so broad that you even looked around at like missing cameras around in the room, like where they've detached. You think that the cameras had been detached long before they even stepped into the room, so they couldn't have been observed, at least your technological knowledge of what's going on.
There are two possible hypotheses. One is that the person who had the original, one of the mummy bags, who might have been an intruder, they might have killed them. Or one of the original family members is much more intelligent and less insane than the other ones. So that's my
you say these out loud, way?
Yeah, she says it in a kind of a thinking aloud way to the Cinder who's accompanying her.
Or they overrided their system and went in there as an easy way to die.
Yeah, that's also a possibility.
Artie, you don't find anything in the storage? Still, have you decided any other room you want to check? If you want, I could tell you details about the storage, what's in there, if you want to search for other things, but...
Yeah. And if there's any books and things like that as well. So good.
If you look at the map, up there is a cleaning station with lots of cleaning trolleys, with lots of cleaning equipment and such. There is an elevator, a very delicate one, a small one. You know that this is a wine elevator, but this is broken and something is obstructing the path, and you see that it leads up. You think there might be a wine room, a wine cellar in the basement. Down, there is a set of power tools, a nail gun that you could use for your weapon endeavors, but no gunpowder necessarily, and there's a drill.
Nail gun's good.
Yeah, there's a nail gun, there's a drill, and there are some other power tools missing. Another thing that you notice is that there's an axe that seems to have already been used. It's like a kinetically modified axe. You know that it's a power tool.
I'll take the nail gun for future making shit and just hold on to it for now. And I want to try to find out what's obstructing the wine elevator if I can see.
From what you can see, high above, there are lots of things obstructing it. But you see what looked to be a backpack and some bits of clothing that could resemble the bits of clothing you saw up there where you had fallen in the boiler room. It could belong to the same person who once had healed themselves again.
Interesting. And it looks like the backpack's jamming it?
It looks like lots of things are jamming it, but there's also a backpack in the midst, just a little bit showing. And keep in mind, this is far above, you can't reach it.
All right.
You continue searching the room, or?
Yeah.
Left, you see a DIY toolbox trolley that could have been moved around the house for repairs and has all sorts of DIY tools in it. You see the medical station, that's on the left as well. The missing mummy packs. Before Sachiko took them, you think there were 4 other empty slots as well. And to the right, there are technological replacements for some of the interfaces and the devices that you see around. And also you, as well, see the Claynova rechargeable gas masks that Cinder took an instant.
What was the second to last one? As soon as you said the Claynova, I forgot the previous one.
Replacements for technological things like the intercoms, the interfaces, and the machines.
I want to look at that. Those.
They could just be used parts for any repairs. But the fact that they're very delicate does mean that they are best put to use for delicate items.
All right.
And Noel, you start to feel this groove in your body, as if you can feel this tingling feeling run down your body with the slightest bit of sound you hear. Some of the things you can note are that your drug can be administered to one body part or even one muscle specifically to heighten the effects. Secondly, you feel like there seems to be something strange about this sensation going over your body. You think it has to do something with your auditory perception.
So I'm gonna grab a plate of the food, sit down on the floor, and just I'm gonna stress eat if I start to feel anything bad, but I'm just gonna ride the wave and use my trip sitting experience to keep a good mindset.
Cinder is pretty quiet with food items because in the field she would have to be, but she will start humming.
Noel, whenever the humming feels rhythmic, you feel these patterns of your muscles tightening along with the rhythm, and you don't think you can quite control it. They're very subtle, and they're all over your body. But again, another discovery is made. If you were to consume it in higher dosages or administer it to a body part so that it's more concentrated, this could cause completely out of control spasms to the rhythm of auditory stimulus for as long as it's in your system, in anyone's system.
Can Artemis see this at all? Has he gone past?
Yeah, if you're still there, you can see mostly Noel's abs like just hunching over slightly with the
Artemis wants to go closer to him and do like shushing to the cinder, and then he wants to start testing to see how the drug works and making just initially random noises to see if Noel's body reacts along to it, or if it has to be like consistent rhythms.
Then without a pattern, you see nothing is happening. But when you start to take, any type of rhythmic pattern, you see Noel's body just can't help it.
I'm just gonna look down at my hands and see the way they're kind of shaking and just twitching. I'm just gonna quietly observe, not really freaked out, just interested in what I wrote myself into.
You understand that your body feels obligated to do this in a sort of a tick type of way. And you guess that if you were to try to stop it, it might be bothersome. But you do need to vent this tick somehow. You need to feed into it somehow, or else it would start to drain your morale.
So if I try and resist the movement, things will get bad.
Start fapping rhythmically.
To the beat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, in the place that we are now, the level that we are now, one level under the basement, if I'm correct, are there any papers left similar to the ones that we've been collecting so far that I have missed around the rooms?
Not around the hallway. Maybe in some of the rooms, you're not sure.
Okay, so she's going to ask other members that if they have checked the rooms and if they have seen any of these papers or not. Keep one of the papers up as an example and ask every single member, including all different cinders, have you seen any of these anywhere? And I know it's not going to be very useful asking the high ones, but I'm going to ask anyway.
Yeah, I just stare at my legs, generally pay little attention.
You point towards 18, go check down there.
We also haven't checked all the rooms yet.
Doing this, can I, from the floor, reach out and touch Cinder's leg?
It's like your kinetic movements quickly start to develop patterns. So if you poke against Cinder, then you want to keep rubbing like forward, 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 forward.
Oh, don't freak out. This feels pretty good.
Creepy.